Hi guys, welcome to Alive My Search to Live. And this show is supported by Organic Acai. It's got a capsule tablet form as well as in a liquid form. And our subject matter, our topic for today is designing the new normal. And our guest is the woman behind Dream Architects, architect Daryl Balmoria Garcia. Hi,
Hello,
architect.
everyone. Hello, Jigs. Good afternoon.
Wow, first and foremost, you have to tell me where you are. I remember Tonton's background yesterday was a beautiful house, but it was just a digital hologram, a digital illusion. But your background looks like it's real. Is that real?
Yeah, I'm broadcasting live from our tree house in the farm.
The tree house in the farm. Do you mind telling us where it is?
Our location is in Barangay Guba, Cebu City.
Okay, is this open to the public or is this something that is just personal and for family use?
We started this farm last November, so we are envisioning it to be open to the public soon as an education site. So yeah, hopefully when the ECQ is lifted, we can share our farm to the public.
I was wondering because you mentioned earlier that you had some guests over for lunch. I thought these were customers or whatever. So these were just personal guests then.
Neighbors.
Neighbors. Okay. So you live there as well. It's not just like a farmland that you visit every now and then.
We stayed here when the quarantine started. So the whole 60 days we were here.
So has it been 60 days already?
It's been 60 days.
Wow, it feels like an entire lifetime.
I know.
Okay, architect. My first question for you is: how are you adjusting to the lockdown? How has life been during this lockdown? You're very lucky. You have a farmhouse, tree house that's casting from. But tell us more about how you're adjusting. Go ahead.
At first, it was very hard because for a workaholic like me, I'm used to waking up at 5 a.m., going to the office, 2 hours in traffic. And then suddenly when we were in quarantine or in lockdown, we wake up at 5 a.m., but still we don't have to go through all the traffic. And then suddenly I have like 4 extra hours in a day because those times are spent traffic traveling. So now suddenly I have plenty of time to do nothing. So it was a shock for me at first, but then slowly we adapted. Dream Architects has been doing work from home when it started. So we have a team quarantined also in our headquarters. So work has been ongoing online and then Zoom meetings, online meetings. So I think after 60 days, we're pretty well adjusted already to the work from home setup here in the farm. But it was very hard.
So you communicate with your team from the farm?
Yeah, from the farm.
So you mentioned that you have been there in the farm in Balamban, right, for about 60 days now.
Yes.
How is life in the farm compared to your life in the city? I assume you lived in Cebu, or at least in the city before the lockdown, right? So how is it different?
Very different. Life in the farm has been very slow. Then suddenly you notice everything. It's like there's no more dates. It's just morning, evening, work, farm. It was hard at first, but for me, realizing it now, I think we all deserve some kind of respite from the city life.
Well, what's hard about it? What's hard about farm living? Do you have to catch your food?
Not really hard on the farm living side. Hard on the adjustment from being so busy working in the city to suddenly being here. But living in the farm has been a joy because we started this quarantine challenge where we plant one vegetable per day, and then right now we're harvesting all of those plants that we have started to plant here. So it's really amazing.
Wait a minute. Wait a
we
minute. You
are
have a
very,
vegetable challenge. Who are the participants in this challenge?
me and my children, and then some
Okay.
of
Okay.
our farm people. We have like vegetable planting contest for the longest talong, heaviest kalabasa. It was fun.
Why do you feel the need to farm, architect? Don't you have many sources of vegetables in your area in Balamban?
There are a lot of sources, and I know that people will say, why do I have to plant when I can just buy? But thinking about this lockdown, what if there comes a time that we cannot buy anymore, even if we have the means to buy? Or, for example, wouldn't it be like a very good feeling to have something growing on your own, and then you harvest and grow your own food, and you know that it's fresh and it's clean and it's just freshly picked, and then from farm to
No,
table automatic.
no insecticide, right, or whatever bad
No
things that
pesticide,
people
no
put in
pesticide.
vegetables.
We are very passionate about organic farming because we have seen the benefits of it. We've been practicing it for like more than 10 years already. And
Really now?
yeah, and my mother is a testament of how food can heal yourself, because it's for another story, but she's been critically sick, and then all the doctors already gave up and said that we have to let her go, but then malunggay saved her. So that's
Wow.
why we really want to educate people and inspire and let them know the benefits of growing your own food organically and naturally.
So it's not only healthy, it actually can probably cure you. And like you said, it was the life-saving element of your mother's condition. Um, they say, architect, that planting your own food or catching or hunting your own food changes the way you look at food. Before you started planting your own vegetables, architect, do you feel a difference now in the way you look at food now that you're growing your own food?
Okay, that's a very good question. Not just let me cite an example of why it's different. Um, our children have been we have grown our children that they know how to grow their own food, and by doing that, they are more aware of the food that they eat, and then they respect the food that they eat. Before, we just take for granted like, I can buy lettuce anytime and then just throw all the scraps away. But now we are more conscious of utilizing the food that we eat, because we grow it ourselves, and
Exactly.
we see the importance of minimizing food waste. Here in the farm, we're trying to be sustainable as possible. So even though we're growing our own food, we still have excess. So that's why we have farm animals. So we our excess vegetables goes to the farm animals, and then the farm animals feeds us. So it's a cycle. It's a cycle. It's a natural cycle that is very important that we know how to take care of.
So you're also growing farm animals aside from vegetables.
Yes, we do have a lot of
What
farm animals here.
what's farm animals if you don't mind?
The from my recommendation, the first farm animal that you should have in a farm when starting a farm is not just chickens or ducks. It should be rabbits.
Rabbits. Why rabbits?
Why? Rabbit is the most healthy alternative meat. And aside from that, even if you don't eat meat, the manure of rabbits is green manure. So meaning from the rabbits, you can put it directly to your plants, and it's the best fertilizer, organic fertilizer ever. Um, Plants grow very healthy and happy with rabbit manure. So with the chicken manure, you still have to compost and dry it. So it hassle and it smells. But with rabbits, they don't smell. They're not noisy. They're easy to grow. They multiply like rabbits. So We started the farm November. We started the farm November. We started harvesting our rabbits for meat February. We started also the chickens November, but we have not eaten one single chicken up to now because we want them
Really
to
now.
grow first. So food alternative, rabbit is very good, and we are giving farmers breeders so that they can grow themselves, because aside from the
Wow.
food that they can get from the rabbit meat, they can also use the fertilizer, and then they can also sell the rabbits as pets. So it's really a very economical farm animal to grow. May not be very popular here in the Philippines, but rabbit has been grown for meat in other countries, Europe, US, other Asian countries. So yeah, we have a lot of vegetables, and our vegetables are happy because of rabbits.
You know, the problem with the rabbits is they're so damn cute, right?
Huh?
They're so cute. You don't want to eat
Oh,
them.
but
They look tuloy when you eat them.
chicken and pork is also cute. Fish is also cute.
No, I think,
But
but I think
that's
rabbits
why
are cuter.
I think rabbits are cuter, yes. But
So you met. Go ahead.
that's where respect for the food that you're eating comes in. You know that you grew it yourself, it's clean, and then you don't waste it, because the life that they're giving you is they gave their life for you as sustenance.
So do you recommend people suddenly growing rabbits
Yeah, because you can
of just
easily grow them at
and
home.
chicken? Wow, interesting. Do you think this will catch on, architect? Do you think people will start eating rabbits, especially that you mentioned that it has its manure is green manure, so you can put it straight from the cage to the plant, right? Am I
Well,
correct?
when we opened Banit Chow in the market last October, we really thought that it would be hard to introduce rabbit meat, because Banit Chow is selling rabbit lechon in the
Okay.
market. So, but we were surprised that people were able to accept it that fast, because
Wow.
we really thought that it might take 6 months to really educate people about rabbit meat, because rabbit meat has the lowest cholesterol. It has
Wow, I
no
didn't know
uric
that.
acid. It has the lowest fat content. It has the highest protein. So it's the cleanest, most healthy meat that you can have, aside from, instead of pork or beef or chicken. So it's
Very
very good.
interesting indeed. So you mentioned bunny chow. Can you order a bunny chow
Yes.
these days? You can?
For now, the market is closed, but once it's opened again, then yeah, we do deliver also through Grab Food.
Okay, and we talked about your tree. Did you design that yourself?
Come again?
The tree house that you have in the background that we are doing this broadcast. Did you design that yourself?
Yeah, we purposely built the tree house as supposedly like a vacation or weekend thing, but then it has to evolve into something permanent during the ECQ. Actually, the tree house sits on top of the rabbit tree. So
Wow.
here in the farm, we have around 300 breeders, but you can't hear a single one of them, and you can't even smell them or notice them. So
When you say 300 breeders, what does that mean? 300 people breeding rabbits? What does that mean? When you say breeders in that context?
300 female rabbits.
Okay, interesting. So you built your own tree house with the idea that you're supposed to just make it into a vacation house. Now you have made it into a second home. You've been there, you mentioned, for about 2 months now, or 60 days since the lockdown. Am I correct?
Yes.
So
The tree house is made of reclaimed materials, recycled things. So anything from the construction site, we repurposed and used it here in the tree house.
So you are an architect, and there must be design solutions to this new normal, because there's so many things that we cannot do anymore. We can't be in a confined space, and we have to be apart at least 2 meters or 6 feet. We will when we move around one point to another, we need to maybe walk, or maybe ride a bicycle, or maybe ride a taxi. We can't be in a public transport system like a jeepney or even a bus. Do you have any? Do architects like you have any design solutions in this new normal? And I'd like you to break it down to us in two parts. Those that you can implement immediately, meaning to say the short-term designs, short-term goals, and maybe you can give me an idea what long-term design solutions that you have in mind that we can probably implement in the near future. Go ahead, architect.
As an architect, the architecture profession has always been adaptable to the times and to the need. So design-wise, we always adapt to what is called for at the time. Um, like right now, for implementation, we have to be able to adjust what is existing in our homes, like simple renovations. For example, we have a sanitation area. When we enter the house, we should be able to clean ourselves and then take off our soiled clothes. So that is very important in this time of pandemic, where we really need to sanitize ourselves before coming inside our homes. Our groceries need to be sanitized first before entering our kitchen. So for me, converting a small area in your front door where you can clean yourself up, we call it a sunny station, where you sanitize yourself, a station for sanitation. And then for the homes, what we realized right when the ECQ started was that, how do we work from home when we don't have a designated area to work? Like for example, here in the tree house, I'm using the loft area as an office, but there should have been a designated area as an office space. Even a small corner in your home should have a home office, so that even if we are in quarantine, we are able to be productive. Because although life has been put on hold because of a virus, our lives must also move on, because we also need to feed our family and for
Mhm.
business to commence.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
having a home office in your own home right now is very important. Another very important thing to start in your homes right now, without doing any much about anything in your house, is to have a kitchen garden or a kitchen farm where you can grow your own food on a vertical garden. A very small space will do, like 1 square meter of wall. Because for us, I've been passionate about it. We talk about it every time, that there is no excuse not to grow anything at home. Like for example, you can grow and have a vertical planter on your walls or on your fence or in your balcony. As long as you grow something like herbs, it's very easy. So I can discuss like 10 years worth of growing your own food at home in the city. But yeah, a kitchen garden at home is also very important. um, I believe that the future of buildings and development should be sustainable, like complex developments where people can live, work, and play in one area where you don't have to travel. Because what happens now is, during the lockdown, there is no public transportation. So it's hard to go to work. You have to stop work unless you are housed where you are working. So what we did in our Dream Architects office, we have a headquarters where we have living quarters in that same building and an office. So work did not really stop, because we already have that area where people can live, can work, and an entertainment area. Because being trapped inside your home for 60 days is not easy. So you should also have an area where you can entertain yourself, do exercises, yoga. Um, it's very important to have all of these things. Now, if and when there is a chance to have like a super sustainable house, solar panels, wind turbines. So yes, it can be done, but for now, it's hard to implement because it's a bit expensive, but slowly you can do it. Like for example, here in the farm, since the area is large and we cannot put lampposts in all the corners, so what we utilized are solar lamps that you can buy easily online. So like a 200 peso solar lamp can has been working since November up to now, so it's very cost effective. Small changes in your household can be a very big help in this pandemic. I would believe that
Those are,
we,
go
yes.
ahead, continue.
Um, in the ideal world, I personally, as an environmental planner, would think that we need to decentralize our cities, take people out of the cities, balik probinsya program and all. But for now, we cannot implement it short term. It has to be a long term thing because we also need to develop our rural areas to be able to handle the influx of people, and then taking out the people from the city where they live is also hard because people would flock to locations where their work is within the vicinity. So for me, the best development should be a well planned area where it's walkable. You can bike yourself to work. You just go down or cross the street and then your workplace is already there. Architecture has been advocating these types of developments for the last 100 years, I think. Livable cities, sustainable cities, smart cities. So our development should be sustainable and also smart. Um, Electricity should be efficient, water should be efficient. We should do water recycling, collect our rainwater, and plant, because we for me personally, I also don't think that we should occupy the rest of our forested areas because we also need like a lungs to filter out the air. And if we develop all the areas here in our country, so there will be nothing left, all our forests will be lost. So I think concentrated people in the city should have developments that are really designed for living, not just for commercially selling. So it should be sustainable, it should be green, and it should be livable.
You mentioned earlier, architect, that you want to build ecosystems. You want to build developments that are self-sufficient. You know, that it's easy to bike to work, and do your recreation in your location and all that stuff. And you have been espousing it. In fact, many architects and urban planners have been espousing that for 100 years, right? But traffic is still bad. Before this coronavirus, we already had a virus slightly worse than COVID-19, which is the traffic virus, right? Our cities, our roads are very clogged. And if the designers, architects like you, engineers and urban planners, government, if we design our cities to be self-sufficient and we don't have to travel that much, we are very unsuccessful at it right now. Because traffic is so bad. Every going, I know a lot of people who have condominiums in Mactan but work in Cebu City, so it congests traffic in Mactan. So we are not in the right direction. Everything is getting worse instead of getting better. What do you think happened? Whatever happened to that idea of building places, architect, that are sustainable and are everything is there, so you don't have to leave and all that stuff? What happened?
I personally think we lack foresight in our city planning. So it is very important to have our comprehensive land use plans way ahead of time, because like for Cebu City, we developed faster than we were able to plan. So congestion was there, traffic. So it's very hard to rebuild cities when it's already built. So we might as well, do off-site city centers that are a complex in itself where people don't need to live. And slowly, maybe we can decentralize our cities that way. But we have to be able to adjust to the new normal first. Social distancing, teleconferencing. So after this
I
ECQ,
think
there will,
think I think be, I think because of excuse me, architect. I think because of because of ID, we can't really be close to each other. We can't gather in groups because, as you well know, the biggest, the hardest hit are the biggest and the most dense cities, like the city of New York. They have the most casualties of the pandemic, and other big cities in Europe, as well as here in Cebu City and in Metro Manila. We have the most incidents of COVID-19. So I guess it is not just a nice to have to decongest a city area. It is actually a necessity if you don't want to have more people die of the next coronavirus. Don't you think so? Should there
yeah,
be a sense of urgency now?
yeah, I agree. And the government is actually trying to do that with the Balik Probinsya program. Hopefully, we do not do it haphazardly where we take out the people away from the city, but then we don't provide them jobs where they'll be going to, so they'll still come back. Even those developments should be well planned and well executed, because um it might just be a waste of government funds to take out the people from the city and then have them go back again when there is no jobs, because people live where they are also able to make a living. So work and living should be harmonized, should be within reach, should be um should be sustainable, where they don't really need to travel very far, because if we put the people out of the city, like in the rural areas, but their jobs is still in the city center, they'll still have to travel, and without a very good public transport, it will still create a lot of traffic.
So when all of this is done, when all this is under control, I know that there's no such thing as done for a coronavirus. Because we are experts are predicting a second wave or the next strain and all that stuff. So I guess we're gonna have to get used to this one and be able to learn to live with it instead of actually totally eradicating it from the face of the earth. So before the coronavirus, things were congested here in Cebu City. Things were already bad and all that stuff. So are we going to return to the same shit over and over again after this pandemic? Or do you feel that architects like you, governments, our leaders will have a sense of urgency now, and a different vision now for what it is to live in a city? Or are we going to go back to the same shit?
We should have learned our lesson with this COVID-19, because even if COVID-19 is gone, hopefully, there'll still be other pandemics or other viruses that will develop. So we should not be going back to that situation. We should be able to adapt and learn our lessons. Government,
Yeah,
the
that's a good way
people,
of putting it. Situation.
situation, yes.
Okay. I thought you said situation.
Could be, but we should not go back. We should have learned our lesson by now, because we're losing so much.
So we have a lot of we have a lot of people watching this interview right now. What's your message to them, architect? What should we realize now that something like this can actually lock down not just a city, not just a country, but an entire planet? What is the most thing about this pandemic, especially to all the designers out there, to all the architects, the urban planners, the governments? What's your message to them, Architect Garcia?
To my fellow architects and planners, we should be able to use this lesson and then move forward better in designing buildings that are sustainable and green. We should advocate also the protection of nature, because what this pandemic taught us is a very hard lesson in cleanliness, congestion, sanitation, and all of these things, if only we have took care of nature better from the start, maybe we will be able to avoid these problems. Um, it is very hard to be in this situation and not be ready. We should always learn a new skill, a survival skill, so that we'll be when this COVID is over, we are not assured that it's really over, because there are still a lot of other viruses that may develop over time, or natural disasters, earthquakes, typhoons. So our building should be resilient, it should be sustainable. Ourselves should be ready to adapt and be able to change right away, because if we don't adapt to the change, then there's no way that we cannot survive another wave or another pandemic. So I suggest, I'm passionate about it, that we take care of our planet, that we take care of Mother Nature, we plant more trees, we grow our own food naturally, we support our local farmers, and then just be sustainable consciously and start at home, because the home is the foundation of every society. So starting at home, teaching your children how to be sustainable, how to take care of nature, is the very first step in inspiring also other families and people to do the same. For us, like showing the people, oh, you can grow your own food organically without the chemicals. A lot of the farms around us have been using chemicals and pesticides for a long time, but slowly we are trying to show them and educate them that it's possible, that it's doable. And even if we have like city lives, that we are working in the city, the hectic life in the city, we should be able to also have like a life at home. So the home is very important. We are very passionate about making the home as a refuge to everyone. So the home should be a place where we can live, work, and play, be healthy and happy. So um, let us survive this COVID-19 together, and then evolve into better people, so that whatever pandemic may come, let us have faith, pray, and then just be a steward of nature, help Mother Nature, because nature can live without us, but we cannot live without nature. So that's number one for me.
Wow, that is a beautiful message. And I have so many other questions for you, but I think we should leave it at that, because that's a beautiful message from you, Architect. Thank you so much for doing this, Architect. If they want to know more about growing rabbits, or about your treehouse, or about your advocacy, or maybe perhaps your architectural firm, do you have any thing to plug? Maybe like a Facebook page, a website that they can visit? Go ahead, Architect. Feel free.
Um, for Dream Architects, you can search in Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Dream Architects. Then you can find us there. And also for our farm updates here, we named this farm here in Guba as Hacienda Gracia, because Gracia is like a grace from God.
Great.
And then
Yeah.
Gracia, when you scramble the letter, it's Garcia, which is our
Oh, okay.
family name. So, and then my grandfather is Ingracio, so it's in his honor. My grandfather is a farmer. So you can also find us in Facebook, Hacienda Gracia. Then for our daily farming, home farming kitchen, you can just search my Facebook page, and then we have tips there on how to grow your own food, from the most basic to advanced. Like I have a garlic farm here with just water. You can grow your
Wow.
garlic in water. It's amazing. So you can also just message us, or find us in YouTube, because we have also interviews there with the Department of Agriculture.
Okay, thank you so much, Architect Daryl Balmoria Garcia of Dream Architects. Thank you so much, and I hope to talk to you again. Maybe visit your farm one of these days, and maybe we can do a person-to-person interview one of these days in your treehouse over there in Balamban. Thank you so much, Architect.
Thank you very much, Jigs.
Thank you so much, and you take care. Okay, this show, Alive: My Search for the Best Way to Live, is brought to you by our good friends from Organic Asai. Thank you so much, Architect. Goodbye. Take
Bye.
care.
Stay safe.